Harvey Weinstein's wife, Georgina Chapman, has announced that she is leaving the movie mogul after a string of women claimed that he had sexually harassed or assaulted them. "My heart breaks for all the women who have suffered tremendous pain because of these unforgivable actions. I have chosen to leave my husband," she told People. "Caring for my young children is my first priority and I ask the media for privacy at this time." At the same time as Chapman made the announcement, Weinstein made a departure of his own to Europe, by private jet. There he will undergo therapy for sex addiction and behavioral issues, TMZ reported. Weinstein will submit himself to a live-in facility, in which he hopes he will be able to clean up his act and return to the U.S. According to TMZ's source, the hot-headed producer is surprisingly calm about the chaos that has beset him this week. He has his moments where there are bursts, but for the most part he's pretty calm, the insider said. Chapman, 41, met Weinstein, 65, in 2003 and they married 4 years later, going on to have 2 children, India Pearl, 7, and Dashiell Max Robert, 4. She is also the co-founder of high-end women's fashion line Marchesa, and before the announcement of her split from Weinstein, sources said that she was struggling to save the brand from being tarnished by her husband's allegations. But leaving him might present other problems for the beleaguered British designer. A source told People that she is terrified that the line, which is loved by many of the women who have starred in her husband's films, will founder without his help. That's because he is one of the heaviest hitters in Hollywood, has access to the A-list stars that can keep the brand in the public eye. A TV fashion source said Harvey is the one with all the friends. It's going to be a tough time for her and Marchesa. A New York fashion publicist who did not want to be named told The Hollywood Reporter no star is ever going to want to wear the brand again. Weinstein is good friends with Vogue editor Anna Wintour and the two have co-hosted fashion and Democratic political fundraising events. Chapman and Weinstein are regular guests at Wintour's annual Metropolitan Museum of Art Costume Institute galas. Chapman's departure will likely come as a shock to Weinstein, who had boasted last week that his wife was standing by me 100%. He has also said she will be one of the people to kick my ass and help him become a better man. The couple were yesterday said to be holed up in a Los Angeles hotel together. Weinstein also hopes that he will still be able to serve the Weinstein Company, from which he was fired on Sunday, in some capacity, TMZ reported. His legal team are in talks with the company's board, and according to an insider, he wants to come back with fresh, new ideas. But a reunion seems unlikely, as the board on Tuesday once again condemned the mogul and announced that it would be cooperating with the police. The Weinstein Company's Board of Representatives, Bob Weinstein, Lance Marov, Richard Koenigsberg and Tarak Ben-Amar, are shocked and dismayed by the recently emerged allegations of extreme sexual misconduct and sexual assault by Harvey Weinstein, the board statement read. These alleged actions are antithetical to human decency. These allegations come as an utter surprise to the board. Any suggestion that the board had knowledge of this conduct is false. We are committed to assisting with our full energies in all criminal or other investigations of these alleged acts while pursuing justice for the victims and a full and independent investigation of our own. On Monday, The Hollywood Reporter revealed that the Weinstein Company had consulted with an ad agency and was considering renaming itself to put distance between it and the litany of alleged abuses. The controversy showed no signs of winding down on Tuesday, as several actresses came forward with new accusations about the producer. Angelina Jolie said that in 1998, when she was just 23 and promoting her film Playing by Heart, Weinstein made unwanted advances on her in a hotel room. I had a bad experience with Harvey Weinstein in my youth, and as a result, chose never to work with him again and warn others when they did, Jolie told the New York Times. This behavior towards women in any field, any country is unacceptable. Her voice was joined by that of Gwyneth Paltrow, who said that Weinstein sexually harassed her at his Beverly Hills hotel when she was just 22, and that it almost lost her a big role. Italian star Asia Argento told The New Yorker that Weinstein raped her in 1997 at a party hosted by Miramax at the Hotel du Cap at Rock. She claims the mogul led her to an empty room and asked her to give him a massage. She reluctantly agreed, and halfway through he began to perform oral sex on her after forcibly lifting up her skirt despite her repeated requests for him to stop, she said. Aspiring actress Lucia Evans and another unnamed woman accused him of rape as well. According to the article, Rosanna Arquette and Mira Sorvino also said that Weinstein forced himself upon them, but that they were able to fight off his sexual advances. Soon after, the two women say, their careers began to suffer. Also on Tuesday, actors Ben Affleck and Matt Damon finally spoke out about Weinstein, who was instrumental in bagging them an Oscar for Good Will Hunting. Affleck, who had been silent on the matter for 5 days, finally said on Facebook that he was saddened and angry over the claims. I am saddened and angry that a man who I worked with used his position of power to intimidate, sexually harass and manipulate many women over decades, he wrote. The additional allegations of assault that I read this morning made me sick, he added, calling them unacceptable and demanding people do better at protecting women. Those remarks didn't impress Rose McGowan, one of Weinstein's alleged victims, who accused him of knowing about his abuses for at least 20 years. She tweeted, "GODDMNIT, I told him to stop doing that. You said that to my face. The press conference I was made to go to after assault. You lie." She then tweeted a screen grab of her message onto her main timeline with the message, "You want to play? Let's play." It's not clear which press conference she was referring to, but both McGowan and Affleck appeared in the 1998 movie Phantoms, which was executive produced by Weinstein. The horror flick premiered at the 1997 Sundance Film Festival, which is where McGowan's alleged assault took place. Good Will Hunting premiered in December of that year. Two of Affleck's preceding three films, Kevin Smith comedies Mallrats and Chasing Amy, were also backed by Weinstein. McGowan also tweeted, "Ben Affleck F off." She had been prodding the Batman star for days to speak out, but clearly she hoped for a different response. On Monday, she tweeted, "Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, how's your morning boys, Casey?" Affleck has also been accused of sexual harassment. Shortly after Affleck's statement came out, the New York Times published a story revealing that both Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie were subjected to unwanted advances by the Hollywood heavyweight. Affleck and Paltrow dated briefly in the late 90s. Paltrow was dating Brad Pitt around the time Weinstein made advances towards her. Also addressing the controversy on Tuesday was Matt Damon, whom McGowan had previously called a spineless profiteer who stays silent. He and Russell Crowe had been accused by the Rap's Susan Waxman of intervening in a story she was writing on Weinstein. It claimed Fabrizio Lombardo, the former head of Miramax Italy, was put on the payroll to procure women for Weinstein. Lombardo denied the claims at the time. While she was working on the story, Waxman says the actors called her to vouch for Lombardo and the allegations about Weinstein were stripped out of the piece by her editors. Damon, who said he knew Lombardo from the Italian launch of The Talented Mr. Ripley, said he had no idea about what Waxman was investigating. Harvey said, "Sharon Waxman is writing a story about Fabrizio and it's really negative. Can you just call and tell her what your experience with Fabrizio was?" "So I did, and that's what I said to her," Damon said. "For the record, I would never, ever try to kill a story like that. I just wouldn't do that. It's not something I would do, for anybody," Damon said. Waxman has since spoken out to say that she endorses Damon's side of the story, tweeting Tuesday that he wasn't informed on the sexual harassment allegations. Also drawn into the ongoing story on Tuesday was Weinstein's first wife, Eve Chilton, after Heather Graham said she had been aware Weinstein slept with other women. Graham told Variety that in the early 2000s she met Weinstein at his office and was told that he wanted to cast her in one of his movies, offering her a pile of scripts on his desk to pick from. Later in the conversation, he mentioned he had an agreement with his wife, Graham said, referring to Chilton, whom Weinstein married in 1987 and divorced in 2004. He said he could sleep with whomever he wanted when he was out of town, she said. "I walked out of the meeting feeling uneasy. There was no explicit mention that to star in one of those films I had to sleep with him, but the subtext was there," she said. He later attempted to lure her into a hotel, but she refused and promptly lost the film he was supposedly willing to finance. As the story continued to roll, Barack Obama, who received $680,000 in money raised by Weinstein for his 2012 election campaign, joined in the chorus of disapproval, saying he was disgusted with the revelations. "Michelle and I have been disgusted by the recent reports about Harvey Weinstein," Obama said in a statement. "Any man who demeans and degrades women in such fashion needs to be condemned and held accountable, regardless of wealth or status. We should celebrate the courage of women who have come forward to tell these painful stories," the former president continued, "and we all need to build a culture, including by empowering our girls and teaching our boys decency and respect so we can make such behavior less prevalent in the future." He did not say whether he would return the money raised for his campaign. Hillary Clinton also spoke out on Tuesday, saying she was shocked and appalled about the stories that had emerged about Weinstein. On Tuesday, it also emerged that Weinstein had approached Jeffrey Katzenberg, former chairman of Walt Disney Studios and CEO of DreamWorks Animation, for help in persuading the board of the Weinstein Company not to fire him. Katzenberg released the content of his reply, and it likely made for painful reading for the disgraced producer. Weinstein emailed a handful of Hollywood executives, including Katzenberg, on Wednesday in a desperate and last-minute plea for support. "My board is thinking of firing me. All I'm asking is, let me take a leave of absence and get into heavy therapy and counseling, wrote Weinstein in the email, which was read by one of the recipients to Janice Min. Whether it's be in a facility or somewhere else, allow me to resurrect myself with a second chance. He went on to state that a lot of the allegations are false before asking that they send an email backing him, which he could in turn present to the company board. In response, Katzenberg, who has known Weinstein for 30 years, said he had no way of knowing whether the allegations were false, given that the email was sent just days after the NYT expose. You have done terrible things to a number of women over a period of years, he continued. I cannot in any way say this is okay with me, it's not at all, and I am sickened by it, angry with you and incredibly disappointed in you. I doubt this is what you want to hear from me and most likely you aren't interested in my advice, but this is the way I see it.